Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
It's a look back at some of the popular day-in-the-life stories from farms and ranches all across our country.
And now, a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Each week, we get a chance to bring you some amazing stories from the many farms and ranches we visit all across America. This week, we're revisiting some of our most memorable day-in-the-life stories. Let's have a look. Serving as the volunteer leader of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association is a big job. The man leading the way this year is Philip Ellis of Chugwater, Wyoming. Let's find out a little more about Philip and his family's operation.
Nestled in the Bear Creek Valley of southeastern Wyoming sits the Marsh and Ellis Ranch. Today, Philip Ellis heads the ranch, which is a family business that dates back to the late 1800s.
I'm a fifth-generation rancher. The sixth generation ranching is working into the ranch with me, and the seventh generation they're on the ground and running with grandsons and grandnephews. My family were in here very early. This area of southeast Wyoming in the 1870s, they discovered that the shortgrass prairie was a high-quality grass and that cattle could thrive here. My great-grandfather came here as a teenager from Iowa, and he came to one of the big operations that had just built a big house in this valley, and within a few years he was an open-range cowboy for that operation.
Chugwater, Wyoming is just 45 miles north of Cheyenne, and while the high-quality grasses are ideal for raising cattle, the harsh winter weather can be tough on the cattlemen and the livestock.
So by the 1889, my teenage great-grandfather and a teenage gal had married and established their own operation. And they got that opportunity because the blizzards of 86 and 87 took out the large cattle barons' herds. They didn't understand that there could be harsh winters here.
Through the years, the Marsh and Ellis Ranch has adapted to meet the changing needs of the beef industry. What was originally a registered Hereford operation has evolved into a commercial Red Angus Hereford outfit. The crossbreds thrive in the harsh conditions and still produce high-quality beef.
About 30 years ago, when I came back and worked in and took over the operation, we changed and started crossbreeding with Red Angus. I think the Hereford's hardiness was famous in this area, for our winters can be harsh and the wind can be harsh. The Red Angus for the growth factor and the meat quality, cutability added into the Hereford makes a real good cross for this area. We've been really happy with those cattle. Our operation today is a commercial cow yearling operation. We calve cows and then we carry the calves over another season.
Growing up, Philip's family taught him the importance of being a member of state and national livestock associations, a lesson that primed his desire to serve the beef industry.
There are records going back to the 1940s of membership in the associations that become the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. We've always felt it's just very important because we're out here doing our work, but we realize that government, both state and national, that we need to join together with other ranchers to have a voice.
Philip began volunteering in the cattle industry more than 30 years ago with the Laramie County Stock Growers Association. This local beginning launched a career of industry service, and since then he's held a variety of roles at both the state and national levels. He was president of the Wyoming Stock Growers Association and NCBA's Region 5 vice president. A notable leader, no doubt, Philip says his love for the cattle industry drives him to continue volunteering for the greater good.
And following my family's example, I got involved at the state level. And so it is important for me to be there and to lend my voice and things I can do to help the beef industry. When you enjoy and are passionate about the industry, they say you'll never work a day in your life. And I think this is an industry one can be passionate about. And one thing I love about involvement in NCBA is that as I travel across the country and I speak and meet with and visit with cattle people, agricultural people, I'm always home. When I'm with beef cattle people, I'm always home.
As he travels the country, Philip finds taxes are a concern for farmers and ranchers. Tax burdens can cripple cattle operations in the present, but also for years to come. Philip knows the value of planning for generational transfer on his own ranch, and one of his goals as NCBA president is to establish long-term tax solutions for cattle producers.
We have done a lot of transition planning, given the realities of the estate tax and having to plan for that. Like all ranchers, we have a land base, cattle base here, but as far as capital, our outfit would never been able to withstand an estate tax. So we've done extensive planning with the generations to handle that. Part of that has been an understanding that the assets, if the ranch is going to continue, need to make a plan for them to go to the people that are on the ranch. Our role is to really support those family members that are ranching, and that has been successful through 3 generations so far.
Policy work, educational outreach, and promotion all play a role in the success of the beef industry. Philip says each of these areas are critical for NCBA to work in to correct consumer misconceptions about beef production and to fight against regulatory overreach.
We're constantly challenged by government regulations, and we talk a lot about that. We need to have our voice out there to explain what we do on our ranches. Those of us in production agriculture are a minority of the population now, and there are so many people involved at the government level, and we need to explain what we do and make those regulations work for us. I think one of the big challenges we have is to understand and communicate with those who are critical of the beef cattle industry and agricultural in general, whether it's those that are critical in the policy process or those that are critical in our markets and in the foods and retail sector. If we can understand them and communicate our product, the value of our product, the healthiness of the beef product, and the good work that we do out here on our ranches.
As Philip Ellis takes the reins as president of NCBA, he notes global trade is also an area of focus. He believes beef is the best protein not only for Americans, but for consumers worldwide.
96% of our population live outside the U.S., and as their protein needs grow, we want to be there to supply them and actually provide us opportunity on our ranches to continue to expand, grow incomes and improve our markets. The demand for our beef is there. We just need to work to provide access, and that's one thing NCBA is working hard and can do for the individual producer. We are deeply involved right now in the trade issue, and we have been for many years, but I look forward to some opportunities that are on the table right now to expand that. And I am passionate about beef being the best protein that we can supply, not only here domestically, but globally. I talk often about the rightness of our industry, and I think we are right. We have the best protein, and we have a protein that we raise in a renewable manner. That's the best thing that can happen to this grasslands here on my ranch, is for cattle to graze that grass. And while we're doing that, we're providing protein to the world.
No storm is too powerful for new Purina Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, formulated with ultimate weather resistance. That means more minerals in the feeder and available to your cattle. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals provide more consistent intake and balanced mineral nutrition to optimize herd health and breedback rates. See the difference at your local Purina dealer or visit cattlenutrition.com. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, another way Purina is building better cattle.
Overcoming adversity is part of the job, and loyalty isn't a word you just use, especially when everything is on the line. You've had good times and stood strong in leaner years. We've always been right there with you. Introducing the John Deere Livestock Loyalty Program. Special savings is our way of saying thanks for investing in John Deere.
Welcome back. Strong leaders are often the product of their experience and their values. For NCBA Vice President Tracy Bruner, growing up and now leading a fourth-generation ranch that includes seed stock, cow-calf, and cattle finishing has provided a wealth of experience and a bedrock of family values. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Russell Nemitz takes us to the Flint Hills of Kansas to spend a day in the life with the Bruner family on the Cow Camp Ranch.
Nestled south of I-70 on the western edge of the Kansas Flint Hills, Tracy Bruner and his family have built a strong cattle business rooted in diversity and recognition of the individual strengths of all members in the family.
Cow Camp Incorporated is our family-owned corporation, an equal partnership of three brothers, myself and Kent and Mark. Cow Camp Ranch, LLC, is our sister company of a seed stock enterprise, and that's operated by Kent, his son Nolan, and Mark. Bruner Cattle Company is a bonded livestock dealer operated by myself and my wife Yvonne. My wife of 33 years is not only my soulmate, but also the bookkeeper and partner in our operation. We have two children, Lauren, known as Kat, who is married to Jake Jenkins. They have twin boy and girl, Alex and Ava, that are about 2 years old, and a son, Tanner, 21 years old, who's a student at Kansas State University.
With enterprises in the seed stock, feedlot, and cattle buying businesses, Cow Camp Incorporated truly is a family affair. These various segments of the industry complement one another and ultimately make the Bruner family more efficient beef producers.
We've come to believe that the strength of our business is in the diversity and the ability to make a production system that works not only in complete harmony with the elements and the resources that we have at this location, but many aspects of our operation complement each other. For instance, our feed yard provides nutrients that recycle back into our farming, our cropping operation, and in turn, the products of the farming operation provide feedstuffs for the cattle business.
The seed stock business is a longtime family tradition for the Bruners. They know that producing high-quality beef starts with sound genetics in their cow herd.
Our herd is primarily Simmental based. We run about 700 mother cows, and of those, the big majority are purebred Simmental and Sim Angus. We market around approximately 250 bulls a year. We have one sale a year in the spring. That's the last Friday in February.
Cow Camp is committed to providing consistent results for their seed stock customers. Their commitment to quality continues through to the stocker and feedlot segments. In fact, many of the cattle at Cow Camp Feed Yard are purchased from seed stock customers.
Our feedlot is licensed for 8,000 head. We roughly have 5,000 to 7,000 head in it most all the time. Most of the cattle are all fed to finish. We buy a lot of cattle that are out of our genetics from people who purchase seed stock from us. We collect a lot of carcass data and feedlot data on those cattle so that we can kind of gauge how we're doing on our seed stock side.
We work with the customers and try and repurchase or help retain ownership on those calves. It lets us evaluate the genetics that we're proliferating and helps us know if what we have done is the right road for balanced beef production and also for efficient beef production. We also have an overall mission of producing the highest quality beef products possible. And that quality focus has helped tie all of our businesses together.
And The availability of local feed and pasture resources means Cow Camp Feed Yard is in a very desirable location.
We are in predominantly a farming area, but just to the east of us, there's the Flint Hills, which is probably one of the top 5 grazing regions. It's all native blue stem, big and small. You can grow cool season grasses as well. So grass is very abundant. At Cow Camp Feedlot, we graze 2,500 to 3,000 head of yearling cattle a year by 3 to 5 weight steers, take them out on the Flint Hills on mostly double stock to get some cheaper gain on them. And then they come back into the feed yard, and we will sort these into uniform groups of cattle and feed them out to their finish weight.
The availability of pasture land is a great complement to our farming and ranching business here in Kansas. We have great diversity of how the Flint Hills is used, and it's a very great resource both for our state and for our industry.
Tracy Bruner's ability to lead doesn't end at the ranch. Over the years, he's volunteered his time to serve as president of the Kansas Livestock Association and the Kansas Beef Council. Now, he's serving as an officer of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association.
The interest in serving the overall industry has always been keen for me. I've always found that is not only interesting but very rewarding in the people that I meet and what I'm able to learn and use from that, and hopefully we're able to use those experiences and grow and make a useful contribution to the industry.
With opportunities for future growth in the beef industry, Tracy and his brothers aim to grow their cattle business today to lay the foundation for the next wave of Bruners to succeed in the future.
Family has given us the foundation for our organization. We're run by the 4th and 5th generations currently. We do enjoy our work. We enjoy working with the land, the cattle. We enjoy being able to provide food for the consumers of our country and our world. And we're anxious to be able to pass that opportunity on to the next generation.
Reporting from the Flint Hills of Kansas, I'm Russell Nimitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
If you'd like to join Tracy Bruner as a member of the nation's oldest and largest cattle industry organization, it's easy to do. Join NCBA now by calling 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org.
Sure, cattle bring in the profits, but Case IH equipment helps you do everything else.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
Sure, cattle bring in the profits, but Case IH equipment helps you do everything else.
Seed stock producers represent the foundation of the cattle industry, the place where genetic improvement begins. Building a high-quality seed stock operation takes time and a solid understanding of where the beef business is headed. In North Dakota, the Ellingson family has dedicated themselves to providing functional Angus cattle of the highest caliber in a package that works in their rugged environment. Cattlemen to Cattlemen visited Ellingson Angus last September, and Brian Baxter has that story.
In the rolling grasslands of North Dakota, Chad and Julie Ellingson and their 5 children have been steadily building a reputation of providing high-quality Angus cattle.
Ellingson Angus was formed when my husband Chad and I were married in 1995, but our history in the Angus business and the cattle business goes much further than that. It's where my family has been ranching since the 1940s with the registered business, and my great-grandfather homesteaded, and we're excited to be able to carry on that tradition and to welcome our children into it as well.
We're in the northern Great Plains in the southern part of North Dakota. We're in a semi-arid region that gets about 12 to 14 inches of rainfall per year. We've been blessed this year to get about double that rainfall, so the green grass is not normal here. But on most years it can be challenging at times. We live in the land of extremes. Here in the northern Great Plains, we can get to negative 40 degrees in the wintertime with tremendous wind chills, and we can get to the triple digits in the summertime.
The real-world approach at Ellingson Angus has been shaped by the experiences of both Chad and Julie, who've had long careers in the beef industry. Julie currently serves as executive director of the North Dakota Stockmen's Association, and Chad has an extensive background in the AI business. That experience has helped them blend the newest technology and cattle selection tools with practical management of their herd.
I spent much of my professional career working for the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. I think what's unique about it is by being a rancher myself, it gives me perspective. I know exactly what my members, what keeps them laying awake at night. I know what's on their to-do list. I know about their hopes and their dreams on their operations, and also to be up on what issues are impacting our industry on a broader level, both nationally and internationally. And that helps us here on the ranch at Ellingson Angus engage and be an active part of that process.
I was in the AI business for about 19 years. I had the opportunity to travel the world and work with and learn from some of the brightest minds in the industry. We're privileged to own multiple AI sires along with some major AI studs. Some of the bulls that are currently being utilized across the nation, probably across the world in terms, would be a bull by the name of Ellingson Identity, a bull that would have topped our sale 5 years ago. He's a proven calving east bull, becoming a very highly maternal bull. We're selling a lot of calving east sons of him.
By using some of their own AI sires along with a battery of other well-known Angus bulls, Ellingson Angus is able to deliver high-performing bulls and heifers to their customers on sale day, but the Ellingsons never take their eye off the traits that are most important to their customers and the industry.
We take a real-world approach to raising cattle. We raise cattle very much like our commercial bull customers. Our cattle are out on large range pastures. They are grazing about 6 to 7 to 8 months per year. We do have some supplemental feeding during the winter time when the snow gets too deep for them to get out and graze. But we try to raise them just like our commercial bull customers do, because then we can call and produce cattle that will suit not only what we're trying to produce, but what the kind of cattle our bull customers are trying to produce. I think when we get out and I get the opportunity to work with my commercial producers, I realize that they got to have some performance in those calves. They have to weigh up at weaning time to have some performance at that time, and also performance as we follow them through the feedlot. But also compounded with that, they have to have some maternal capability. They have to have structural integrity to get out and cover the land and produce a big calf and breed back again.
On sale day, that functionality is important. As seed stock producers, the Ellingsons know their customers demand cattle that will perform anywhere their buyers take them.
Our average bull sale customer would be a cow-calf producer, probably resides here in North Dakota or in the surrounding region. Most of our customers would market feeder calves either at weaning time or maybe 60 to 90 days after backgrounding some. Many of those customers also, in addition to marketing feeder calves, would retain some of their own replacement females. They're looking for high-performance cattle that also have some maternal ability and some stability in their operations.
It's very important that those cattle will work here. I think we've had the opportunity to send or sell cattle across the northern Great Plains and actually across the nation, and we've actually shipped embryos abroad. So we've tried to produce cattle that will be very adaptable to many environments across the United States.
The hospitality and focus on customer service provided by the Ellingsons extends far beyond sale day. They take as much pride in the relationships they've built as they do in the cattle they've raised and sold over the years.
We have an annual bull sale the first Saturday in February. where we welcome many of our long-term repeat customers onto the seats. It's usually a cold day, but we've got a nice heated building, and it's a nice event to get together with not only our bull customers, but really our friends.
We sure welcome visitors at any time throughout the course of the year. We look forward to the chance to getting to know potential customers, showcasing our cow herd, getting to know them, and for them to get to know our family.
Reporting from Ellingson Angus in St. Anthony, North Dakota, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Not only are Chad and Julie outstanding seed stock producers, but they also believe in the value of being members of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Why not join them as an NCBA member yourself? It's easy to do. Just call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org. Don't go anywhere, because coming up next is the cowboy poet himself, Baxter Black. We'll be right back.
Have you discovered self-deworming cattle products? All the benefits of an effective deworming without all the labor, handling, and stress. Discover Safeguard self-deworming cattle products. Ask your local animal health provider or visit safeguardcattle.com for more information.
Welcome back. Today, we're focusing on the issue of transferring the ranch from one generation to the next. Of course, the first step is having another generation that is interested in coming back to be a part of the ranch and having enough of a business for everyone to make a living. We traveled to Wyoming to see firsthand how one family managed that, as Russell Nemitz reports.
In southeastern Wyoming, just outside of Cheyenne, the Isley family owns and operates the King Ranch Company. Their diversified operation includes cow-calf, stocker cattle, custom haying, as well as a custom machinery business. The combination of multiple income sources allows the family operation to support 2 generations full-time back on the ranch.
I couldn't be happier. This is a parent's dream. When you get along with the family, you can keep them close. Family operations are always a challenge because you raise strong, independent-minded family, and you expect them, and then you kind of want them to follow in line. Doesn't work that way. But fortunately, we communicate wonderfully. Each of the family holds stock. They're all holders in the ranch and all have a working interest. 2 of my 3 adult children live here on the ranch and work with me, as does my wife.
I think what is unique for our operation is how all 3 of us siblings have kind of gotten into something different, that we weren't discouraged to try something different. I love the cow-calf operation. My brother does the yearling and the backgrounding operation, and then my sister is kind of the in-between. She loves both, and she still comes back and helps with whatever she can and possibly do. So I think that that's encouraging to know that we all can still have an individual area that we can be proficient in, as well as help each other out.
Parents have to be both mentors and partners. They have to figure out what the individual needs of that particular family member might be. Some of them have an interest in machinery, and maybe they want to take over the farming or those cropping operations. Other ones might have talents or intuition on livestock, and maybe that's where their emphasis should be placed. Getting a good education is paramount. I think getting a background is important so you can relate. And find out what some folks are doing. Sometimes other folks have already invented the wheel. You don't need to try to do it again by yourself.
Well, I kind of joke about my education just a little bit because I went to school for 6 years and got a bachelor's and master's in agriculture business and agriculture economics, and then I come home to ranch. But I like to tell people that I did go to school exactly for what I wanted to do, and that was learning how to increase the operation, get a more efficient operation, and just make it a better opportunity for myself and my siblings, and making sure that my parents have a smooth transition to all three of us when they're ready to retire.
The ranch's diversity allows each family member to focus on their passion, but also provides a chance to try new things. The Isley family members all agree that this freedom to expand creates ownership and satisfaction among each other.
We have a lot of things happening around us. We have the city owns property. There's an oil field next to us. The wind farm is on our extreme border. And anytime we have the opportunity to do machine work for those people, we will. We'll excavate. We'll do water lines, pipelines, build a road, maybe even roustabout work if necessary, snow removal. We also do custom haying, and some of that we sell, some of it we do on a crop share basis. That adds to our ability to purchase newer, nicer machinery and not carry it all on the weight of the livestock. It makes it more comfortable and more fun for the family members who are involved in the operation.
I like the diversity. I like the different things this place has been able to do, because yeah, if maybe feeding cows isn't your thing, or doctoring or playing vet and taking care of the sick animals isn't really your thing, you know, you can work on machinery or you can work on farming. They do the construction business now. You know, I have some interest in that, so I like that aspect of it. And if other operations can maybe learn from that and diversify a little bit, and maybe they'll find their niche. There's something they really like. And just even going down into a niche specifically, maybe the ranch that you work at or your operation isn't working anymore. There's other things you can pursue, other things you can look into.
The Isley family members all recognize that diversification is crucial to the success of their operation. Mark attributes his early success as a young producer to finding a specialty market, and he encourages young producers today to do the same.
I think there's some great opportunities for young people. As we're watching operators continue to get older and older in this country, there are some opportunities for young people to step in. They have to be creative. They have to think outside of the box, if you'll excuse the cliche. Look for enterprises that might fit, niche markets that might fit. That's how I got my start was niche markets. No one did custom hay work in our part of the country, but it worked for me to get into the cattle business.
We get to think outside the box here. If something doesn't work, we get to try something new and different. And maybe just the freedom of it it's cool. It's different, it's unique.
Family members working together for a bigger thing than themselves. This operation has taught me that you can survive and you can adapt even with changes in the world. You can always expand it and make it better, make it easier. You don't have to always work harder, you can always work smarter. And that's what I think is important about this place. It's kind of taught some life lessons, and you still get to work with the family.
Reporting from Wyoming, I'm Russell Nimitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Why not join the Isley family as members of NCBA? It's easy to do, and there are some outstanding member privileges and discounts. To find out more, visit the website beefusa.org.
There are many great reasons to join NCBA, and that includes exclusive NCBA member-only discounts, such as savings on new equipment purchases from New Holland.
Hi, I'm Mike Corman with New Holland Agriculture, and I'm pleased here to talk about our New Holland member benefits to the National Cattlemen's and Beef Association members. New Holland offers special benefits to NCBA members where they can save up to $1,000 off the purchase of a New Holland equipment. Members can save off the purchase of New Holland hay and forage and mid-range tractors, as well as other products. We have New Holland dealers located throughout the United States. Stop into your New Holland dealer and learn more. New Holland and NCBA, smart partners for agriculture.
Savings on equipment purchases from New Holland is just one of the fantastic deals you get as an NCBA member. Don't miss out. Join NCBA today at beefusa.org. Just about 80 miles north of Boise, you'll find Phil Davis hard at work tending his cattle at Davis Cattle Company in Cascade, Idaho, where his family has been ranching for over 150 years.
We've been in Idaho since the 1860s when my great-grandfather came here, and while things weren't too successful after about the 1930s, my dad started over and made it what it is today.
Family continues to be very important to Phil and his wife Yvette. They have 3 children who grew up on the ranch, and they're all still heavily involved in the family business.
All 3 of our kids went to the University of Idaho, majored in ag, and so ag has been a part of their life since they were little. It's been a great experience for us as parents to see our kids come back and want to continue on with the ag and producing the beef and the product that goes out to the consumers.
Growing up on a farmer or ranch just doesn't leave your blood. Once it's instilled, it's always there, and you learn to work as a family, and it doesn't get much better than that.
When the opportunity presented itself to venture out and do something a little different, the Davis family saw it as a way for them to find a niche market. In 2011, they decided to add Akaushi cattle to their operation. It's a unique Japanese breed.
4 years ago, we got involved with Heart Brand Beef from Texas, got acquainted at a fundraiser, and had an interesting story about these genetics, and the cows and bulls were brought over from Japan. We talked about where it might fit in our operation. We brought some cows from Texas and brought them up here that were bred with Akaushi bulls, and we calved them out, and last year we sold our first Akaushi cross half-blood yearlings.
The higher genetic potential for marbling in the Akaushi breed provides consumers with yet another quality beef option at the meat case.
A lot of people lean towards wanting lean. What this does is gives you a healthy option for a more marbled piece of meat. Marbling, of course, is the buttery flavor that most people really enjoy when they eat beef.
Merging the Akaushi breed into their operation has been successful due in large part to the resources available in their region of the country.
What we have here is a unique quality of grass that lends itself to getting pretty good rates of gains on yearlings from the spring through the summer. It gives us an opportunity to market cattle at a different time of the year. We had an understanding when we went into this program that it was going to be beneficial to run them as yearlings because the cattle needed more age to finish with a better yield grade, and it certainly proved true.
I feel that the Akaushi breed has brought value to us by giving us a bit of a niche market that's fun to learn about. Just learning about a different breed and the different meat and the quality, I just think it's been fun to step out.
The Davises' passion for producing beef extends far beyond their own fence line. They're determined to help educate others about the importance of the beef industry and what it means for the future of agriculture.
Many surrounding communities have no ag education in their schools. So unless you grew up doing it, then you're just really unfamiliar with it. And it is important to me to reach out to the youth with the truth.
I have women that come to me and they have no clue how to cook a roast or what type of roast to buy. And so in the 35 years I've lived here, I have tried to educate friends in this town on the beef industry.
We are getting so many generations removed from agriculture that people are too willing to listen to the wrong message. And the more the consumer learn about this, the more I think they're going to accept it and be happy with it. So we need to tell them our story.
Phil and Yvette are proud of what they've accomplished so far, and they hope the next generation of ranchers will continue to promote the beef industry to the best of their abilities.
Being an ag family, you teach your children to go out and be proud of what they're doing and not afraid to share any aspect of it.
You always envision that the next generation will take on, and you hope you made it better for them and they'll make it better for the next generation.
Reporting from the Davis Cattle Company in Cascade, Idaho, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Out in the country, expansion is also on the minds of cattle producers like Bruce Alford, operator of a multi-generational stocker operation in Arkansas. Stocker operations play a key role in the beef supply chain, and they depend on a steady supply of calves for their livelihood. As backgrounders, they work to transition calves between weaning and placement in the feed yard. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz shows us how one operation in Arkansas helps its animals efficiently pack on the pounds.
Bruce Alford Farms is a cattle backgrounding operation located in the southwest corner of Arkansas. Owner Bruce Alford continues the tradition started by his father back in the 1950s.
He started here in 1956 and had to start on little scales, small scales, and since then we started our own operations and added to his and just made it bigger and bigger. We feed a handful of cattle. We buy the 2 and 3 weights and put them on wheat and gain them on grass as much as possible and sell them to feed yards.
Stocker operators like Bruce rely on forage in combination with grains to increase a calf's weight by several hundred pounds and to build up immunity to diseases before it enters a feedlot. Over the years, Bruce has found that one of the keys to healthy animals is getting the cattle off to a good start once they arrive at his place.
The main thing is to get them to eating and drinking. So far, it's worked real good. Now, we do need to make some changes yet. You don't never quit changing, but it's worked good, and then we'll put them in traps for a short period of time, 30 days, and try to put them out in bigger pastures after that. The ones that perform well will gain well. In a short period of time, there's nothing to get 2 pounds a day gains out of them in the first 2 weeks. And one that is challenged would be different. They're not going to gain as good. The health problem's going to be worse. It's just totally different.
Diagnosing and treating sick animals is essential in the stocker business. Bruce says there's one thing cow-calf operators could do to help make life a little easier for the people in the cattle industry farther down the production pipeline.
Get a good vaccination program and put them on. Go ahead on. Put it in them and go on. It help the respiratory problems and the whole shebang. It help us a whole bunch.
An ample supply of good quality pasture throughout the grazing season is the goal of every stocker operator. But when the grass is down, Bruce gets creative to make sure his cattle are gaining. That means turning to some non-traditional ways to feed the cattle, like peanuts.
The pellets, a lot of them come from Alabama and Georgia and everywhere else. And they are peanut hull pellets because normally they're cheaper and they work good for us. And cottonseed hulls, we use cottonseed hulls. Syrup, put a little syrup in it, get a smell on it. Most of the cattle we buy don't know what feed is, don't know what water troughs are or anything else. So you kind of got to train them and tow them a little bit.
Bruce buys and sells cattle throughout the year. Although there are many options for marketing cattle, Bruce prefers to sell his animals directly to feed yards and order buyers.
I'm probably different than most people. When I'm ready to sell, I'm ready to sell. And I get it done. I don't have to wait 2 weeks to put them on the video and get them on television, get them sold. And sometimes that's bad and sometimes it's good. But usually when I feel it's right to sell, I'm selling.
Despite the challenges that he faces on a day-to-day basis, Bruce is confident in the long-term outlook for the beef industry.
The market right now is unbelievable. We're in ground that none of us have ever seen before that's in the cattle business. The prices are just unbelievable, and I do think that the market will be fine for a while. It's no doubt with prices that we have today that they will rebuild the herds if they got the market to do it with. It's a totally different deal today than it was just a few years ago. You're looking at a world market today. We're getting so many people. I think the beef industry, I think it's all going to be good for us for several years to come.
And hopefully, Bruce's outlook for a bright future in the cattle business proves to be correct. Reporting from Louisville, Arkansas, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To join cattlemen and women like Bruce Alford and help support NCBA's efforts to improve the operating environment for the entire beef industry, just visit the website beefusa.org or call 1-866-USA-BEEF.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right, where it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots. When you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real and feeding my family a home-cooked meal. That's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
Let's face it, you don't think a lot about your trailer hitch. You use it and forget it. We understand. But at B&W, we think about it. Short nights, long hauls, never-ending chores. The unthinkable. We think about it all, so you don't have to. B&W. Trusted.
If you're not using IMI Global's verification programs, you might as well set your money on fire. To give your wieners added value, no program begins without a traceable animal. Then add on BQA and other specialties, and you open up a whole new market for your calves. You might be thinking, the market's so good, why bother? You ever heard of making hay when the sun shines? You got a choice. Get in the game or visit IMIGlobal.com. Now, a lot of farmers and ranchers are entrepreneurs, and I've never really been brave enough to try that. I've worked for wages all my life, watching other people's stock. And the outfits I hired on to, they didn't make you punch a clock. They'd let you work until you finished, like the feedlots in the fall. They'd roll them calves in on you and they'd just walk the fence and bawl. We'd check the pens, pull the sick and push and treat and ride, and then process new arrivals that kept coming like the tide. I've calved a lot of heifers, though it's miserable sometimes. It's something that I'm good at. And it's like she's sort of mine. She knows I ain't the owner, but we're not into protocol. She's a cow and I'm a cowboy. And I guess that says it all. I got no truck with politicians who whine and criticize about corporate agribusiness. I guess they don't realize somebody's got to own them that can pay the entry fee. Why, who you think puts up the dough to hire old boys like me? Oh, I bought a set of heifers once, maybe 15 years ago. I held them for a calving and then I had to let them go because all I did was worry about how to pay the bills. Took the fun out of cow punching. I don't need them kind of thrills. Though I wouldn't mind owning me a little hideaway, so when some outfit laid me off, I'd have some place to stay. But I figure I'm just lucky to be satisfied at heart that I'm doing what I'm good at. And I'm playing a small part in a world that's complicated, where the bosses fight it out with accountants and consultants and their counterparts with clout. They're so busy being bosses, they got no time to spare somehow, so they have to hire someone like me to go out and punch their cow. This is Baxter Black from out there.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
Set sail for San Diego and the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the cattle industry's biggest convention with education, networking, and fun that can't be beat. Plus, you can check out the huge NCBA trade show, and there will be a special event held on the historic USS Midway. It's the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, January 27th through 29th in San Diego. Visit beefusa.org for more.
Time now to share some of the outstanding photos taken by farm and ranch families around our country. Let's take a look at our latest roundup of legacy photos. Why not send us a favorite photo from your own farm or ranch? It's easy to do. Just visit our website. That's cattlemen2cattlemen.org. Include your farm or ranch name, and you may see your photo on a future edition of Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Well, that wraps up this edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks for spending some of your time with us. I'm Kevin Ochsner. We'll see you next week right here on RFD TV.